This is DSnuff15 and welcome in the newest hero of the Heroes of the Storm roster, Lieutenant Morales. This is a new first play, or unboxing if you will, but it could very well, might as well be a late night heroes guide. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to classify it, but we're going to try and do a guide with it as well, and I think that we're going to start to move towards that format to try and show them off as quickly as they release, to show good gameplay as well as good talents and abilities. But we're going to talk about Lieutenant Morales. She is the combat medic. Lieutenant Morales is a range support that specializes in single target healing and damage mitigation. I find that her healing style is most similar to Uther's, but her playstyle follows that a little bit more like Malfurion's. She's able to stay at distance with her ranged basic attack, but her ability to hold a lane is limited, and that she starts out with only one damage dealing basic ability. Her strength lies in how easily she can keep an ally in the battle without needing to fall back. She lanes particularly well when with essentially a diving melee assassin, who too often usually has to retreat to avoid overextending with her lower health pools. Now let's take a look at those abilities that we've been hinting at, and then we'll focus on those talents, tactics, and gameplay during a quick match. Now her trait is Caduceus Reactor. This will allow Lieutenant Morales to regenerate health passively without expending mana after 4 seconds of being out of combat. So long as she is positioned towards the rear of a group and out of danger, you should really remain at relatively high health throughout a fight. Caduceus Reactor can keep her in-combat time high by saving her from unnecessary trips back to a healing fountain. You may find that she has to take trips back to the fountain for the sole purpose of mana, as opposed to actually being low in health herself. Now all this changes at level 20 when you have the option to upgrade your trait to include mana regeneration. Again, assuming that you're in a position, or you have positioned yourself correctly, where she isn't taking damage, the Lieutenant becomes nearly unstoppable as a healing force, as her mana regeneration is nearly equivalent to the amount expended. But enough about her trait, let's talk about the abilities. Her Q is Healing Beam. This is her bread and butter healing ability. It is a channeled ability that steadily returns health to her target. It has a negligible cooldown and cast time, so Healing Beam can be swapped between heroes nearly instantaneously. Now you do need to be careful so as to not overheal your target and waste unnecessary mana though, as it will continue to consume your mana despite no lasting benefit or additional healing. Of course, I say that with somewhat of an asterisk attached, as there is a talent at level 4 that will allow you to overheal and essentially place a shield on the target for the amount healed over 100% up to a certain amount. Healing Beam is at its best in smaller encounters where the damage dealt to your team is limited, or at least focused on 1 or 2 teammates. In large group fights, healing must be prioritized and allies triaged, using Healing Beam to focus on either the most important group member or the most injured. That's assuming, of course, they're 2 separate individuals. Now, cranking out Healing Beam can apply some serious early lane pressure if you're paired with an aggressive assassin who doesn't mind taking a few licks and hogging the lane. But you need to be careful because Healing Beam cannot be cast on Lieutenant Morales, so you'll have to rely on either Caduceus Reactor or her damage mitigation ability. Well, speaking of which, her W is Safeguard. This ability allows her to reduce all incoming damage to herself or an ally by 25%. Now, Safeguard can be particularly effective for enemy abilities that you can see headed towards an ally, like Pyroblast or Triple Tap. Unlike Healing Beam, Safeguard does have a 15-second cooldown, so you may want to keep it in your back pocket for when things get really messy. But if you want to play really aggressively, consider popping it early on an engaging ally to mitigate incoming initial damage. Players tend to want to use more than just basic abilities when fending off an aggressor early in an attempt to maximize the number of times that they can use an ability throughout the course of a fight. Though the more I play Lieutenant Morales, the more I tend to reserve Safeguard for myself. This is particularly true when on the defensive. She has limited mobility options, so the only thing between you and the death timer may be Safeguard. Otherwise, you'll have to resort to shooing away your enemies with your E ability. This is Displacement Grenade. She fires a straight line skill shot that explodes upon contact with any enemy, so take heed when targeting enemy heroes near minions or mercenaries, as you may not hit your intended target. But still, Displacement Grenade is a great way to keep enemies off an objective or facilitate a retreat. Just don't be fooled into thinking this is going to be pushing out massive damage numbers. With a cooldown of 12 seconds, it still has a significant downtime, and her basic attack does not make up for only having a single damage dealing ability. Now, the first of her heroic abilities choices is a stim drone. When placed on an allied hero, it will increase attack speed by 75% and movement speed by 25%. If you compare it with a high damage dealing assassin, this type of buff can straight bulldoze opposing groups. Imagine increasing the damage output by a fully stacked butcher by an additional 75%. This, coupled with healing beam, you'll be able to constantly keep them at high health and let them just go crazy. Now, her second heroic ability is medevac dropship. This heroic really sets her apart from all other heroes within the game. She's able to land a dropship at her location and transport her teammates to a distant location, allowing for a significant tactical change right in the middle of an encounter. Now, this does have a limited range, so it can be cast across the entire map, but it still has good value for about 2 lanes or so in the larger maps. It can clearly traverse the Tomb of the Spider Queen or one of the 2-lane maps. Now, this can be used either offensively or defensively. She can flank an unsuspecting enemy group, quickly switch lanes to keep an opposition off balance, or simply get back to the fight quicker after death. It's an extremely fun and rewarding ability to use when used appropriately. Now, all in all, I believe that she's a great healer for her team. She can be particularly effective when utilized in a 2-support build. While landing, try and maximize her abilities by pairing her with a high damage dealer. Now, on the downside, both of her heroics require a certain degree of communication, coordination, and timing, so a random group may not be able to appropriately anticipate or respond to one of your heroics when used. But if you're a fan of healing, Lieutenant Morales is the hero for you. Her healing beam plays very well, and her safeguard bounces her out so you don't feel like you're constantly button mashing. So then, how about we hop into a quick match and see what we can do? Alright, and we're going into the classic map of Cursed Hollow. So, let's see what we have. We have Lieutenant Morales, Nova, Tassadar, Raynor, and Nazeebo for the good against Lieutenant Morales. Oh, imagine that on release day. Jaina, Muradin, Nova, and Diablo. So, okay then. I don't like the way this is shaping up, and I really would wish that I would not be by myself, because that is not what I want. Yep. So, yeah, really, you should put Tassadar probably by himself rather than Lieutenant Morales. All right. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, but let's go over these this first tier talent. So, with prolonged safeguard, you can increase safeguard's duration by 1 second. You can also go with trauma trigger, so it'll trigger automatically when you drop below 50%. This kind of works like Raynor's, or his passive is that automatically triggers. So you can do something like that, and it can work. Or you can go feedback loop in case your mana is an issue, or scouting drone, which will just give you that extra little bit of sight. I don't think there's really a terrible way to go with it, but yeah, I think that we're gonna want to go with, I don't know. Let's go with trauma trigger, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe we should go with feedback loop, because I feel like if we're able, I think that. Oh shit, I'm gonna go help out Tassadar down there. I think Nazeebo's got it. We'll just go down there and help out. Yeah, we got this. Okay, let's go down here and let's push, because with his AoE and my single target, whee! We might be able to do some good things here. Okay. So this is gonna be Morales versus Morales down here. Excellent. Drop a little bit of that on him. And maybe heal him up just a little bit. Alright, so you can kind of see how, as long as you kind of stay in the back, you're going to stay out of trouble. And we'll let him do his own little thing. Ooh, we get some health. Take that. Ah, you missed. Ooh, we get died. I don't like that. Alright, so as long as you kind of stay in the back, you'll stay away. Even though I'm using Tassadar as my shield, which isn't necessarily the greatest, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Bumped him away. Oop, Tassadar, run away. Run away. Okay, so we're going to keep him topped off. Can use safeguard as well. Is that what I talented? I've already forgotten. Yeah, so we went feedback loop. So you can actually see how far this has a range of, and it can really travel. Your displacement grenade really has some reach on it. So don't be afraid to use it. Ooh, nice comboing here. Oh, and it doesn't have to actually impact. It can impact, but it doesn't have to in order to trigger. So if your target's within the radius of its triggering, it'll still fire off. Stay away. Back. Back. I'm thinking about going Bio Shield for the second one. You can go with Advanced Block to kind of further boost your ability to, or sustainability, since she's so light on it. But you don't necessarily have to. I wish that you could trigger Displacement Grenade. I think that would be a wonderful option. Hey, pick it up, numbnuts. I think I'm going to go Bio Shield just for the sole reason that, oh yeah, there it is. Okay, good. Just for the sole reason that we have a very squishy group. And I think that if I can overheal some of them, we might be able to actually do some decent things. There we go. We'll heal her up, get her back in the fight. So as I said, you know, you're going to find that particularly if you use Healing Beam appropriately, or not necessarily appropriately, but as your primary means of healing, you're going to find that you're going to be out of mana real quick here. So you have to be careful in terms of, you know, when you want to go back to the... oh shit! Get away! Ah, see, you can use that. It works out pretty well, I think. But you have to use your healing fountains, probably usually, or at least usually more for a mana than you typically do for health. With the Caduceus Reactor, you just don't have that same problem. Bam! Wonderful. Love it. Okay, so let's go get this other talent we're going to have up here. So, I mean, you can go to a full Displacement Grenade build, and it's not really viable. I mean, it does what it's designed, but it's not anything that I would necessarily write home about. The best part about it is, though, when you do decide to use it, it does give you that option to really, oh shit, to lob some grenades out there at real distance. So if you, focus on him. Oh man, she blocked me. That whore. So if you're able to effectively, you know, target people down, you can really get some things going. And I completely missed on who I was targeting there, but at the very least, oh shit, I'm not doing too well in aiming. Oh, run away. Okay, so we're just going to kind of get this one up. Then we'll go with Cleanse. Watch this. Get out of the way! And as you can tell, not having to actually spend too much mana on healing myself, so I'm able to focus more on my teammates than anyone else. Give him a little bit of a buff. Throw that out there, which is probably going to miss. Yep. Not doing great on the aiming here. That's okay. We're keeping the group alive, and this is a map where... oh shit. Oh, save her! Save her! That's gonna be a bad thing. Oh, I like it. We're doing some good things here. Oh, quad kill. Wonderful. Well, that was... so you can see how she, in particular since we have two support members, we're just kind of outlasting them, knowing that, well, we can kind of do that. So I'm going to try and go pick up some health or some mana real quick, and then we'll head down to bottom lane. And though I know I'm not going to necessarily be able to clear out, I need to pick up experience from my team so we can try and maintain this lead that we have going for us. No, you should not go for the boss. Oh, Bruiser can't. You can go for Bruiser can't. That's fine. Well, let's push these guys out so we can maintain our lead. Alright, so what did we do? We went with Cleanse. I think it's a great default. I don't think this is the best map to try and use Mule. You could, but with the bursty kind of damage that you get out of this, I'm not sure it's necessarily the best use of a talent. Otherwise, Irradiate, certainly not for this map. We don't have any melees so I wouldn't want to necessarily throw that down because I know that most of our people aren't going to be right within that. Could it on clear by increasing your overall explosion, or I guess area of effect for the displacement grenade, and that's not terrible for trying to clear these guys out. Yeah. Give myself a little bit of a cleanse. Get out of here. I think we're going to lose this one. Oh, got her. Huh. We're going to give myself that so that we get an extra little bit, and we're just going to forfeit this one. Alright. Well, at least it didn't die. I didn't feed him too much, so okay. You could go clear, try and do a little bit more, but it doesn't do any additional damage, which would be nice, but you know, whatever. The problem with going with the full displacement grenade build, it's certainly not viable anytime soon for anything of any real importance. Like you know, this is quick match, and yeah, if you wanted to dick around, fine, but I don't like to waste other people's time. Maybe versus AI, when you go with something like an ad depth level, you can do that, but you're not going to find it as a truly viable sort of. Ooh, I definitely want to go. Do I want to go medic? I really want to go medic dropship because I like to show that, but I'm not sure if it's necessarily the best thing to go here. I would typically want to go with something like just dumping stim drone on top of Rainer, and then we're going to sacrifice ourselves. Oh, push him away, push him away. There we go, and we got the curse. So that's how you can really effectively use displacement grenade in that type of setting. I like it so much. So good. Yeah, we're gonna go drop ship because why not? You know, this is a first play, and I think the drop ship is probably one of the more fun and certainly the most unique in terms of what a new hero has brought to the game in a little while. It kind of, in terms of the graphical changes, it works a lot like Stitch's. I think it's Devour. I think is what it is. Yeah, something like that. But it's a great thing to use, and if you want to see something really interesting here, you can do a split lane push very effectively. If you want to say, it does have a limited range, so it can't drop you all over the map, which is the one thing I really wish it would do. But I would love to do this. Watch this. See if we can't do this real quick. Let's all get out of here, and now everyone's just going to get up and go, and we're just going to go take off. And now we're just going to go to the middle lane, and we're just going to push this now that everyone's all... Oh, shit. Well, we were able to push them away. But we can actually now split push very easily without necessarily having to dump a whole bunch of people in there. I was hoping that more people would hop in, but nah, you get what you get. So I'm going to head to the top lane, try and force down these guys up here. I was hoping that more people would get in, but oh well. That's okay. We kind of did our job. At the very least, I got to show it. But it does have a limited range, which is its biggest downfall. So you don't necessarily get to do a ton in terms of what you can, like you can't do like a false dead, you know, just kind of hop all across the map. In particular, I mean, when you get epic mount, you can, but yeah. So I think I'm gonna continue to. Did he just announce something? Nope. Okay. All right, so let's head on back. Let's let that wave do its job, and no push on in. Let's get reinforcements. And I think that I am going to go with... Also heals you. I don't think that's terrible. Maybe. We'll see. Alright. Let's us go with... Couples therapy? Do we want to do that? Or do we want to do preventative care? I think I want to do... No, they kind of bursty people. I think I'm going to do intensive. No. Let's do couples therapy. That way I can really try and push out a lot of extra heals that I haven't focused on myself necessarily. A lot of her stuff is very situational. Like this, you know, if you have a standard tank kind of build, or I'm sorry, one tank, two, you know, assassins, one specialist, that type of build, you're not going to find all of the stuff that I'm doing today, particularly in terms of talents anyway, particularly relevant. It's just, I mean, all of her things are really situational. There's not one that's going to be like, you know, I'm always going with this for the most part. A lot of things will depend on the map. At least that's what you should do when you're playing anyway. Ooh. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. I thought I had my healing beam on. I guess I did not. Get out of there. And heals. Oh, I guess they do have Jaina. Oops. Oh, well. That's okay. I don't know how we're just... I guess it's the fact that they just lost too much damage in terms of... Am I not gathering this? What the hell? Okay, there we go. In terms of... God damn it! Get the damn tribute. Okay, there you go. There you go, buddy. I'll heal you up. I'll heal you up. And we're going to drop a little safeguard as well as that thingamajigger, the healing beam. Yeah, okay, I see her. I see her. So couples therapy is going to kind of come in handy here. So you can see that particularly because Nova is going to be just sniping for me and Tassadar. So I think that in terms of using that, I think it was a good pickup for this case again. Boop, bounce him against the wall. Ha ha ha, and we got the kill. Excellent. She can be a really fun character to play. It's just she's all out heals all the time. You're not going to find a great versatility for her. She plays a lot like Uther, as I said. So don't be, you just find yourself just hanging towards the back, not really loving too much out in terms of stuns. No, we need to be in here doing this. And we need to go with safeguard can be cast twice. So it saved him. So I saw the actual drop down come in, so I knew that I needed to get in the way of this. If I had my safeguard, I would actually have used it, but didn't have it. So now I'm going to have some Caduceus as well as a little bit of some the couples therapy, really healing me up, keeping me in the front lines, allowing me to maintain and stay out here, really doing some good things in terms of damage. And I'm just going to keep my guys healed up. Alright. So I think that we have a good wave going at the bottom. This one going at the top. I say we fall back though. So what we really need to do is get some camps. I agree. Fall back, Rainer. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. He's gone. He's gone. Let him go. That was just a terrible, terrible death on this place. I don't know why he was still hanging out there. Okay. Alright, so we really need to get some more mercenary camps while we have this level advantage. I don't think our group's built to necessarily go and take out some boss camps, but yeah. Yep, there they are. So we just gotta stick together, wait for Raynor to get here. If I wanted to, I could Hearth back and actually drag him. Oh!
The Raven Lord demands.
Yep, get over here. Yeah, buddy. That's the one thing you will see. You will see. Oh, where is our team? Okay, you will see a medevac travel across your screen if you're watching for it. Okay, excellent. I like it. I like it. Focus them down. Let's get this tribute and wipe them. So we just gotta actually work around this. One thing that I have noticed when I am using this in particular for using the healing beam, I get into the habit of actually canceling it by using the Caduceus reactor instead of just pushing on it, instead of redirecting it. I don't know why that is, but I find that that's the case. No, we can't win just yet. I want to wait till the end. Well, if we don't get the chance, so I'm with shield sequencer, which I haven't been able to use yet. Inoculation, if you know that you're going to get a big, big bursty kind of attack, you can do that. So something like the heroics, if you notice they got a big bunch of heroics like a pyroblast, or maybe they have. I think we're going to be able to hit it. I don't think we're going to take this down. Or if they have a lot of ranged assassins, consider going something like that. Okay, let's heal. Get him up. See if we can travel. Oh yeah! Love it. Okay, there we go. So, who needs it? There we go. Yep. Just healing people up, healing people up. Oh, tapped. Oh no. But here we go. So this is your Caduceus Reactor 2.0. So now, as long as this remains active, watch my mana just go crazy. I mean, it's just gonna go crazy here, as long as I'm not taking damage. And you can just heal beam in the back of a group for days. I mean, you just can. So this thing will stay nearly topped off the entirety of this encounter. And we've already pushed in directly into their base. So they went with a 2 warrior group. Not that they really had a choice, but they went with a 2 warrior build and really weren't able to match the just staying power of a... Oop, I thought I was going to be able to get him. The staying power of a Lieutenant Morales. Just can't. Particularly when you have Tastar, who specializes in that double... Oops. I got you, buddy. Come here. I'll heal you up. There we go. Additionally, when you get the Caduceus Reactor 2.0, you also get this extra shield placed on you, further increasing your survivability. So you can just kind of hang out here and just live. I mean, it takes a lot to kill her at this point in the game, because this stacks up significantly, and you're just going to kind of hold on to it. Alright, so we're just going to swap around the beams while everyone just kind of hangs out here. And we're going to take the win. I think that overall it went pretty well. Oops. It does kind of take a little bit of practice to target them up, but I think that all in all it worked well. We got to use the talent once. I could have used the stem drone probably more effectively, but I just like using the medevac dropship. It's just fun. Stem drum's just a big buff that you can drop on someone. It's like, okay, I did that, and that's okay. But in terms of really using it, it's just fun to use the dropship, particularly if you can use it and sneak up someone. Now, it does have its limitations, as noted, because we really wouldn't have known. No, I don't want to be in your party. You really wouldn't have known to that they were going after the boss if they didn't cross my sight line, and I just pinged the map like holy hell. So you have to be careful when and how you use it. But it can be a pretty effective tool. I really would have wished more of the group would have hopped in when I used it, just because we were able to go and take a second objective, and everyone should have left knowing that, hey, they're all going down there to meet us. Let's try and get out of the way. So it clearly threw down just a ton of heals, out-healed the other one. No deaths, stayed in the back of the group the entire time and just healed. And as long as you have an opponent who doesn't recognize your playstyle, or at least how to kind of dive towards you, you're not going to get picked off too often. Now, you also saw during that match that I didn't really force safeguard on a ton of people, and I used it a lot or held it in reserve for myself. I could have gone with the trauma trigger, which would have given me essentially a passive safeguard on myself. And you can do that, but I like to go with the feedback loop just because, really early on in the map, she can run out of mana real quick if you're pressed really hard. So I figured with 2 tanks they might go on a really divey kind of build. So I thought, okay, we'll just save it and see what we get. Or save the mana as much as we could to try and push them out, because I didn't know what we were going to get, particularly with this kind of a setup that we had. But let's review those talents real quick to see what we went over. We went with the feedback loop because of the mana cost at the beginning. I thought that might be a little bit low. Never really ended up needing it too terribly much, but it may have been that I never needed it because I was always using it. Bioshield, really never got to that because I wanted to keep it switched up, and I didn't want to top people off to waste that mana. And I'm not 100% sure about how long Bioshield lasts. I'm not sure if it's a permanent shield or not. But I thought that particularly given having like a Nova, or if they were really trying to focus on one of our damage dealers or one of the healers, that might be important. Cleanse, just because for the map layout, I thought that was the most appropriate thing. Could have gone with the clear, which increased the displacement grenades area of effect. That would have been effective or useful as well, particularly in this map, trying to clear people away from the objectives or the tributes. Medevac, just fun to use. Stem drone would have been a little bit better, but I just wanted to show that one off. Couples therapy, I really think that probably helped me out more than anything else towards the end, as the damage dealers on their team for Jaina as well as Nova got a little bit more bursty. It helped me out so that I didn't have to rely solely on the Caduceus reactor to heal me up or trying to use safeguard to prevent damage. Shield sequencer, never really got a chance to use that too terribly often or at all, because we just never had that great group encounter that really necessitated it. But you could have, I think it's a solid one. And then Caduceus reactor is just, it's going to get nerfed at some point. You just gain way too much mana at the end, particularly when you're winning. If you're winning and you have that, you shouldn't fall behind unless you just, have a stroke in the middle of the map. it's just too powerful. It gives you so much mana, and you can just heal beam for days. So I love it. It's one of my favorite talents. I mean, it's so powerful. It has to be at the level 21st Storm tier talent, but I love it. It's great. I highly suggest you use it because the medevac and the stim drone, I mean, they're nice, but you just get so much more value out of the Caduceus reactor because it should constantly be going if you're positioning yourself appropriately. But how about we wrap this session up of our, I guess, first play / late night heroes. I might dump this in the late night heroes playlist just because we're kind of using it more as a guide. Please feel free to leave any comments below or message me directly. Of course, I appreciate any likes and or subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to take a look at some of the Hero League content as well as the other late night heroes guides and builds. And we're also slowly expanding our library of other games we'll get around to. It's been a busy few weeks. But we'll work on some other games. We're trying to do some random streaming if time allows. But yeah, check out the channel for some more videos. This has been DSnuff15. Thanks for watching, and we'll try and do better next time.